Mob Entertainment just dropped their first teaser trailer for Chapter 4 of Poppy Playtime. With everything we've got so far, from the visuals, the eerie screenshots, and even the small crumbs of information we've gathered from the previous trailers, we're heading into some seriously dark territory. Chapter 4 is going to test the limits of survival, and what we're seeing hints that we're closer to unraveling Playtime Co.'s deepest secrets. But how close are we? Let's take a look at the Chapter 4 teaser trailer, and afterwards we're going to see what info we've been given on the game's Steam page. The Chapter 4 teaser trailer starts off in a small, dimly lit storage room. We see piles of broken toys scattered around, most notably the remains of the many smiling critters. The room feels cramped, filled with discarded toys and broken pieces. It's clear that something's been attacking these toys. Then, Dog Day, one of the smiling critters, crawls into the scene. He moves cautiously through the room, approaching a headless Bobby Bear Hug plush. As he reaches it, he begins to start eating it, and the camera suddenly shifts to something moving on the left side of the screen, and out of nowhere, a new smiling critter, a sheep character with dark wool, lunges at Dog Day, attacking and devouring him on the spot. The trailer cuts to black, but not before giving us a chilling view of the sheep's face with a menacing smile. The room then pans out, revealing even more broken toys, from smiling critters to boogie bots and Catnap, scattered across the room, emphasizing the carnage. The final moment of the trailer showcases the official Chapter 4 logo, followed by the release date of January 2025. Before getting into any speculation, let's look at a bit more of what Mob dropped for us. We know from the description that Chapter 4 pushes us deeper into the Playtime Co. factory than ever before, and that word deeper is crucial here. This isn't just metaphorical, it's literal. We're physically heading below the known world into layers of the factory that have been hidden from everyone. You think we've seen terrifying stuff before? Nah, we were just scratching the surface. Chapter 4 is diving straight into the belly of the beast, and from what the trailers are teasing, it's not gonna be pretty. First off, let's talk about the screenshots. Starting off with the first one that shows the creepy, unsettling smiling critter. This character is a bit different from anything we've seen so far. The sheep aesthetic gives off an unsettling vibe, and his skull pendant doesn't exactly scream friendly. With the context of Dog Day getting eaten alive, it's clear this new smiling critter isn't here to help anyone. But what does the sheep represent? Why this character now? This could be a turning point in the series. If the smiling critters were once innocent mascots in Chapter 3, we're now seeing them twisted, deformed, and consumed by the darker nature of the factory's experiments. The sheep represents death. It's evident from its design and how the dev teased its connection to darker forces. Could this sheep be tied to Experiment 1006 or even something worse? It's possible the sheep isn't just a standalone character, but a part of a bigger, more sinister plan, one tied directly to the prototype and whatever lies in the factory's depths. Alright, moving on to the next screenshot, the dark, water-filled cavern. Now, this particular area looks like some kind of maintenance passage or an older section of the factory, perhaps one that's been abandoned for a long time. But why is there water? Why this desolate area? My guess is this is a place that's been forgotten, an area where the failed experiments, the ones even Playtime Co. couldn't control, were abandoned. The bodies of the critters, now left to rot, could signify that this section of the factory was used as the dumping ground. And now, with the player venturing deeper, we might be on the verge of discovering what Playtime Co. was really trying to hide. But let's say you look at this screenshot and you don't think it's water. Because honestly, I'm 50-50 on it. But this could have the same purpose as the other caves in Chapter 3. It simply served as a way to not only complete puzzles, but to move on to the next location. So we can go with the overcomplicated answer or the oversimplified answer. Pick your poison. In another screenshot, we're greeted by what appears to be a long hallway drenched in blood and destruction. Blood is smeared all over the floor, and there are remnants of what used to be here, possibly employees, but more likely, they are the remains of toys that were devoured by their own kind. You see, in the lore, it's hinted that the deeper we go, the more ravenous the toys become. It's been said that toys brought employees down here to eat them. What we're seeing in these visuals isn't just a horror set piece, it's a feeding ground. a slaughterhouse. This could be where we, the player, are heading. Imagine being in this claustrophobic hallway, knowing full well that you're not just being hunted, you're being stalked. This isn't like Huggy Wuggy from chapter 1 when you're trying to escape a chase. Nah, this feels different. It feels like the toys down here are toying with you. No pun intended. They want you to fear them because fear makes the hunt that much sweeter for them. You see, this entire area, from the blood-soaked floors to the heavy shadows hiding just beyond your flashlight beam, is designed to break you. The deeper you go, the more hopeless it gets. I'm not gonna lie, I'm just yapping. I'm just trying to sound sinister, bro. Moving on to the tunnels, and wow, if you thought the Playtime Co. factory was just a labyrinth of conveyor belts and machinery, this proves otherwise. These dark, tight spaces suggest we're entering sections of the factory that were never meant to be seen. It's dirty, cramped, and the farther we go, the more inhuman everything feels. Playtime Co. didn't just manufacture toys here, they created something darker, something that couldn't be contained in areas we've seen so far, that likely could be hinting at the prototype's escape. Let's theorize on this. What if these tunnels were used to transport bodies, failed experiments, whatever was too dangerous to be seen above ground could have been dragged down here to be dealt with. And now, after decades of abandonment, these failed toys have evolved. They're hungrier, more primal. You're not just trying to solve puzzles or outwit Huggy Wuggy anymore. You're trying to survive a pit of predators, each one more desperate than the last. Alright, now let's take a look at the room with a large circular grate where the light beams through. To me, this looks like a trap, but for who? My guess is this could be where the toys once captured and stored their prey. Or worse, this could be where the experiments happened. Notice the rubble and debris scattered around. It looks like the place has been abandoned for some time, yet something still lurks beneath. What could be down there? My theory is that this area leads us closer to experiment 1006, the prototype. The prototype has been pulling the strings all along, right? What if this grate is the final barrier between us and the answers we've been looking for since chapter 1? It's almost like this section of the factory is holding back something powerful, something so dangerous that even the other toys fear it. Finally, let's talk about the last screenshot. The grand circular room that looks like an old office or lobby. It's eerily clean compared to the other areas we've seen so far. Why is this place in such a pristine condition? It almost feels like someone or something is expecting us. It's almost like this is a command center, a place where someone was monitoring everything that happened below. Well, this gives off the same vibe as the chapter 1 lobby, but it's likely that the toys just never went over here. But let's break it down a bit further. There are some key elements here that we shouldn't overlook. First, the design. You can see a specific pattern on the wall, which is the exact same pattern that's seen on a large cube in the background in the chapter 4 teaser trailer. This room might actually be a puzzle for the player to solve, a way to unlock deeper layers of the factory or even the prototype's true lair. The fact that it's pristine means this place was meant to be the last, or it could be the first, just like in chapter 1. Now, let's circle back to the smiling critters, particularly Dog Day and the new sheep character, which seems to be our next big antagonist. If you remember the earlier teasers, we saw that the smiling critters had been through something or someone, heavily implying that they were destroyed by this new sheep critter. We saw Dog Day, once a recognizable critter, reduced to a meal. But what's interesting here is the power dynamic. In chapter 3, the smiling critters were more of a collective entity, acting in harmony. But here in chapter 4, we're seeing that harmony shattered. And again, this sheep character seems to be more than just another critter. The skull pendant, its aggressive nature, its apparent disdain for the other critters suggests something darker. So what can we expect from chapter 4? My theory is that we're going to confront the prototype head on, but not before dealing with the feral toys that have been left to rot in the factory's depths. We're entering the final stretch where the toys are no longer just tools of Playtime Co. They've become predators in their own right. And the deeper we go, the closer we get to the prototype, and the more desperate the toys become to survive. Alright, let's keep moving forward with this theory. We've established that the lower depths of Playtime Co.'s factory are crawling with more dangerous toys, and the environment itself is far more hostile. But what's really fascinating is the role this environment plays in Chapter 4. Every single room, hallway, and tunnel we've seen so far looks like it has a story to tell. A twisted, violent story at that. One thing is for sure, Chapter 4 is going to push us further into the darkest depths of Playtime Co., both literally and metaphorically. We're no longer just exploring the factory, we're uncovering its deepest secrets, its most dangerous creations, and the truth about the toys that have been hunting us. And it's not about just survival anymore. The toys have evolved, and so must we. But what do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments. Thanks for watching, subscribe, and click on this video right here.